Today's story is sponsored by the Lovely Law Firm. Good morning. Thanks for watching Living Local. I'm chatting with Justin Lovely of the Lovely Law Firm. How are you?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, I love chatting with you because you always have some really great insight for folks. Today we're kind of chatting about drunk driving victims. So how do you help those out?
Well, this is it's happening far too much down here on the coast. And when COVID kind of slowed down and everything started to reopen, we saw more and more of this down here. So what's happening is people are going out. They were locked up for a year. They had nothing to do, and they're having fun down here in Myrtle Beach. Okay, they're having fun at our restaurants, at all our attractions, and they're having too much to drink, and then they're choosing to get behind the wheel and drive. And what's happening is they're hitting people, and we're having to work these claims. You know,
when folks, if they are a victim of this, what's kind of their steps to take as far as you go?
Yeah, so normally what happens is, you know, they're going to get hit and hopefully they're not injured too bad, but they're going to go to the hospital. They may or may not know what happened on the scene, and they come out, they retain us at that time. And then the biggest thing that we do as the attorney is start a very, very in-depth investigation with our private investigators. And the reason we do this is if they're charged with a DUI, there may be more insurance or someone else responsible other than that at-fault driver. So of course, at first, we'll go after the drunk and say, hey, look, did he have insurance on his car, on his person? And we'll try to get those policies for the client. But the bigger issue that we're seeing is the bars that overserve them, and can we track that down and prove that you know, they were overserved or shouldn't have been served when they were clearly intoxicated and shouldn't have been behind the wheel.
So this is many times a restaurant issue as well.
It can be a restaurant, can be a bar, anything that would overserve. Now, the good news is, Rainee, is they just changed our laws a few years ago that requires now $1 million alcohol policy.
Wow.
So yeah, in years past, there was nothing we could do except get that at-fault driver's insurance policy. Now, if we can prove the elements of a dram shop case, we are able to go and get every bar in the chain. And so there could be multiple $1 million alcohol policies. And for a catastrophically injured person, that can mean the difference between you know, the minimum policy that most people have or getting an actual decent recovery.
Absolutely. And then, you know, you kind of stick with them through the process and you help with the solicitor's office and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, so the at-fault driver is more than likely going to be charged with DUI, sometimes felony DUI. The solicitor's office will begin their case as far as the criminal court proceedings. And the victim's advocate will reach out through the solicitor's office to our client, and we work as a liaison with them and make sure that, you know, their voice is able to be heard in the criminal proceedings. And sometimes that involves showing up to several court dates, and we're right there with them holding their hand. Sometimes it's cooperating as a witness. If we have to seek restitution, any way that we have to help the client, you know, the Lovely Law Firm, we're going to be there for them.
I love that. And tell me about the punitive aspect of this. Yeah,
so this is what people don't realize. Even if you're not hurt that bad, if you're hit by a drunk driver, you know, our laws have, they're there to protect and to deter this kind of conduct, deter drunk driving. Nobody wants to get hit by a drunk driver. They shouldn't be on the road. So we can seek what's called punitive damages. And those are damages in our law that are meant to punish these people. Now, of course, the solicitor's office is going to do their prosecution in criminal court. And on the civil side, we use that element of the law to seek compensation through the punitive damages on their insurance policies to help our clients recover. Because a lot of times we can never make them whole, okay? Nobody wants to be in an accident. Nobody, especially don't want to get hit by a drunk driver. So the only way that we can kind of level the playing field at all is to seek all the insurance that we can, and that's what they hire me to do for them.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, you know, every time we chat with you, we like to kind of get your top tips on things. So what is your #1 top tip for if you've been hit by a drunk driver?
If you're a drunk driving victim, the main thing is the investigation, okay? Because we have to we're starting at the end and kind of working our way backwards. And I have a team of private investigators that we work with who know how to beat the pavement, get any videos, get any surveillance from neighboring businesses, if there's any public cameras, any witnesses, and if we have to get credit card statements, if we have to get cell phone footage, anything at all, social media, we just backdoor it and kind of make a timeline to prove, hey, they were at a bar A, B, and C. This is when they were overserved, and these are all the people that are liable for the damages.
Man, thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching Living Local today. We'll see you next time. Today's story is sponsored by the Lovely Law Firm.